Yo, what is up guys, my name is Hakiii, and in this video we're going to be going over the pros and cons of GTA Online on next gen. There's a lot of mixed opinions on this new version of the game, and hopefully by the end of this video you can make your own educated opinion on whether you like it or not. If you go on to enjoy, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and drop a sub so you never miss any more awesome videos like these, and let's get straight into it. So the first very controversial thing is even before you actually load into an online session on next gen, and that's in the character migration part. So if you don't know, if you transfer your character onto the next gen console, you're only going to be able to play with that same character on that next gen console. You're not going to be able to play anymore on the PS4 or Xbox One, wherever you're coming from. So that is pretty big. That means once you transfer your character onto next gen, you cannot use that character anymore on last gen or just previous gen. That character is going to be permanently deleted, and you cannot play with your friends if they're still on last gen, unless you have another character on last gen that you can use, or you just want to make a completely new character on last gen. So that is a big limitation right there. As soon as you transfer your character to next gen, you're basically locked with that character on next gen from that point on, and you cannot use it on the PS4 or Xbox One anymore. As soon as I saw that the very first time, I was like, yup, people are gonna be heated about this one. Now if you're wondering what's the logic behind this, like why did Rockstar do this, the only reason I can think of is maybe to combat people doing money glitches on previous gen that maybe you can't do on next gen, and then for example they got tons of money on that, and then they could use that money on next gen as well. That's the only thing I can think of. Besides that, I don't really see why they're making people delete their progress on the last gen. If you have any other ideas, let me know down below, but that's all I could think of really. Overall, it's for sure a con for a lot of people. It is not good news. Also, some people asked me, Hakiii, why aren't Xbox One and PS4 getting this? And there's a very simple reason for that. The Xbox One and PS4 just aren't strong enough to handle these new visual upgrades. The new vehicles and the chameleon paints, it's no problem for the Xbox One and PS4 to handle, but the last gen consoles just can't handle these new graphics and FPS and ray tracing and all of the little visual stuff. You gotta remember, these consoles came out back in like what, 2013, 2014, something like that, and if you have a newer version of that same console like the PS4 Pro or like the Xbox One S or the Xbox One X, Rockstar's just not gonna make an update only for a new version of the same console. It has to be a whole new generation console. Another big question I got is why isn't it available for PC? PC players got kind of left in the dust with this one. I guess it's just a little bit more complicated for PC because only certain people have good enough PC specs to handle these new visual upgrades, and maybe Rockstar just doesn't think it makes sense to give out an update only to some PC users that have a strong enough PC. Maybe that's what they were thinking, but PC just wasn't really relevant in this one, I guess. Let's move on to a pro, because there were a lot of good things about this too, and it is the visual upgrades as well, the whole reason that it's not on last gen or on PC. Since this is only available on the next gen consoles, most people are coming from the last gen consoles, not from PC, and on the last gen consoles, people don't even know this, but we played on something like 20 to 30 FPS max, and a jump to 60 FPS is a huge difference. It makes it look and feel way smoother. It's more than double the frames we're used to playing, so this is a huge difference and a huge upgrade. It makes the whole gameplay just so much better and so much smoother. The 4K resolution is also a nice upgrade. It's not as substantial as the frames, I think, but it's still solid. And then all the other little visual stuff, I'm not really an expert on that, so I can't really tell with those, but I'm sure the visual people do notice some sort of difference with them. With a good amount of these, you can look at it either as a pro or as a con, including this next one, which is the $4 million that new players get, or just players that reset their character. You'd be surprised, but there's still a lot of people that are new to the game. Every year that goes by, there's still new players coming to GTA Online, which is a good thing, and they get a nice little present, a nice little small loan of $4 million. All jokes aside, that's a very nice amount, but then you have people that look at it as a bad thing, where they think everybody should have got $4 million, which would be nice, but I feel like a lot of people have a lot of money, and it makes sense that new players or people that reset their character get a nice little boost and head start. Let's move on to the new how Special works. There's both pros and cons to it. When you first take a car into how Special works inside of the LS car meet, you have to do the HSW vehicle upgrade, which are pretty expensive, but I believe some are free, or maybe they're free for a limited time. For example, with the Banshee 900R, it costs over $1.7 million to do the HSW upgrade, which is crazy overpriced. I mean, yeah, how Special works does have a few cool upgrades, but it's not worth $1.7 million to upgrade it to that. Plus, when you actually select those pretty expensive unique upgrades, it's gonna cost you a lot, but besides the price of it, those unique customization options are actually really cool. There's exclusive liveries you can put on each vehicle, and also the awesome looking chameleon paints, which are one of the best, if not the best looking paint jobs in the game. We finally have a sick looking paint job along with modded paint jobs, but you could just get these without doing any mods or glitches, so I feel like everyone's gonna be rocking that on next gen, especially the one on the very bottom of chameleon paints. That one looks insane. I really hope they keep bringing more and more of these unique looking paint jobs and just overall car customization options, because it's one of my favorite things to do in the game personally, and I know a lot of other people enjoy doing that as well. The other new upgrades are mainly performance upgrades like the HSW brakes and the HSW engine tunes. It just makes the performance like crazy, especially the acceleration on a lot of these new vehicles. And speaking of the new vehicles, we do have a couple of new vehicles. Some of them are just different versions of already existing vehicles, and some of them are actually somewhat new and really cool looking. On the weaponized Ignis, which is just a new version of the regular Ignis, I like that it comes with a missile lock-on jammer already on it. You can take it off if you want in-house special works, but I don't see why you would want to do that. And it does have a pretty cool machine gun up top. I think those two are the only differences between it and the regular version. And then we have the Astron Custom, which is also an already existing vehicle. It just released in the Contract DLC, which is the latest DLC, so they decided to make a custom version of it on next gen, so I'm not really too excited about that one, to be honest. Many people consider those two cons. And then for pros, we do have some actual new vehicles. We got the Cyclone 2, which is a second version of the Cyclone, but it's actually a really cool looking vehicle, and it does look fairly different from the first Cyclone, so I'm not really too mad about that. And then we have the Arbiter, a new muscle car, and we have the Karen S95. Another pro are the quality of life changes. When you open up the big map, it's a lot more responsive, same with the interaction menu. And a really useful one that honestly should have been in the game ages ago is the find new session option. And yeah, we do have the find new session on last gen as well, but when you go into find new session on next gen, you can finally pick between joining another public session, and invite only, a solo session, friends session, crew session. It's pretty much the menu from story mode and creator, just in an online session, and they should have added it to last gen and PC as well, to be honest. Like, I don't see a reason why it shouldn't be on all platforms at this point. Another thing I like to see is the new main menu you have, where you got two tabs. You got the online tab and the story tab. Just like the updated find new session option, I think this one's also pretty convenient. You can join free mode, you can join heist, you can join different series modes, and it just showcases a lot of new stuff in the game. Let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about this next gen update type thing? Do you think it's fair? Are you satisfied by it? Are you kind of disappointed with it? In terms of what Rockstar told us, I think we got a solid amount of stuff. It's not anything super crazy. Once again, it's not GTA 6. It's not even close to being a whole new GTA game. It's just a next gen updated version of GTA 5 and GTA Online. And if you want to see every new feature in this next gen version, click the video on screen now. I hope you all enjoyed that video, and peace.